We often see the messes that influencers get themselves into, but we rarely see the steps it took for them to rise to fame. More importantly, we rarely hear from their friends and family about how insufferable their household influencer becomes once getting some clout. This video is based on some anonymous accounts posted to Reddit about what it's like knowing an influencer in real life. I'm going to tell you all about the dark secrets of influencers in just a moment, but first, if you could do us a big favor and please tap that like button, we'd really appreciate it. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Coming number 10, dating an influencer. Dating an influencer can be difficult because they've essentially transformed their personal life into a means of making money. So most things they do in life have to be captured and posted for their fans to enjoy and to bring in sponsorship deals. One user on Reddit told a story about what it was like to date an influencer and said, "I dated one, not super popular, but followers in the 100K range last time he spoke. I remember a lot of getting ignored and only receiving nice gifts or acts of kindness when they could post about it. Asking me to go to nice places they didn't drive, only to leave me on a bench somewhere while they took pictures. Huge strain on the relationship, especially when they started to get bigger and there was more demand for content." Coming number 9, friends with influencers. Just because you're friends with an influencer doesn't mean that you always want to be as active online as they are. Sadly, these lines can become blurred because more often than not, an influencer feels like they're doing their friends a favor by posting about them. Another Reddit user speaks about being friends with an influencer and says, "It's annoying AF. One of my buddies is constantly filming everything we do and posting it. It's to the point where people walk up to me on the street and ask me about him because they've seen me in his posts. I have no idea who they are. It dominates everything he does and has severely impacted his personal relationships. He can't keep a girlfriend and it's clearly related to this obsession of his. He does occasionally get some cool stuff out of it though. After pretty much kicking him out of my life because I do not want to be continually posted online, we've come to the understanding that when he's about to take a pic or video, he hands me the phone so I'm not in the shot. Works okay for me." Well, as long as they've come to an understanding that they can stick with, then I guess they should be fine. Coming number 8, living on their phone. Due to the nature of being an influencer, they often spend way too much time on their phones, both posting and consuming content to keep up with whatever their perceived competition is doing. This can become extra frustrating though when you need this person to just be present. A user on Reddit recounted their experience of being friends with an athlete influencer and said, "Friends with a high-profile athlete who is pretty popular on Insta. He is always on the phone, never lives in the moment. If we are doing anything fun, well, it basically didn't happen unless the world knows about it. It's just annoying. I can't imagine living for the approval or satisfaction of others." With another adding on to this and saying, "I was with a guy at Coachella and he has a pretty good following on IG. He posted something while we were watching a concert and could not look away from his phone. I asked him when he'd eventually put his phone away and he said he would when he got over 1,000 likes. I couldn't believe it." I cannot believe that either. You're basically saying, "Hold up, let me get the drug fix real quick and then I'll get back to this concert I paid for." Coming in number 7, wannabe influencer. Believe it or not, but this next story is not as uncommon as you would think. Sometimes when people are not getting enough engagement on their posts, they will go as far as creating extra accounts to make it appear like their post is getting higher traffic. A user on Reddit recounts their experience dealing with this and said, "I know a wannabe influencer. She will reply to her own post from her husband's account praising herself. Then she will reply to those posts as herself thanking him. It's hilarious. Like Inception for Facebook." Absolutely insane behavior, and at the very least I hope her husband is aware that she is using his account to do this. Another wannabe influencer though on this thread apparently got a big dose of reality from their own mother. This other Reddit user writes, "My cousin is a wannabe influencer. She kept denying family photos at a birthday party, so her mom told her to just not be in pictures anymore. Idiot got a reality check." Oof, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Coming number 6, consumed by filters. What can really be harmful for an influencer's mental health is the use of filters or Photoshop, especially if the doctored image is the one that ends up getting the most likes. Things usually don't start with this, but they can sometimes progress this way. A user on Reddit was trying to be supportive of their influencer friend, but just couldn't find the energy anymore. They go on to say, "In the beginning they started because they got offers from brands because they were so popular on Instagram and it was a lot of fun for them. Now they don't ever post pictures or videos without a filter. Rarely ever like a picture on the first try, and don't you dare post any pictures of them without getting their approval for it. Imagine trying to get a group picture with all of your friends for your birthday, but having you take almost 100 shots to get one that your influencer friend is happy with. Also in the beginning I would like and comment on all of their posts, but now that's not enough. They expect me to message it to others, share it on my stories and my page. I hate posting stuff to my page, but I do it anyways to be supportive. It is so tiring. They do get free things sometimes though that they sometimes share with me. Not worth it in my opinion. Yeah, probably not worth it." In at number 5, misguided jealousy. If you're the type of person that already is a teeny bit narcissistic, then gaining followers is not really gonna suddenly give you empathy. What it actually does is inflate the ego even further, and then suddenly you become convinced that everyone around you must be jealous of your success. A user on Reddit spoke about what it was like to get left behind by their influencer friend and said, "To be honest, it's really shit. I feel like I've been completely forgotten about and like I don't matter anymore. I think that's just some weird misguided jealousy, but it still hurts because I miss talking to my friend." Coming number 4, changing the narrative. Sometimes regular life is too boring to post about online, so more often than not they will add some fantastical story to their caption to make their lives seem more interesting. This user talks about losing their best friend to Instagram and says, "One of my best friends fell real hard into Instagram and for a few years it was tolerable and understandable, albeit annoying and strange. Everything needed to be documented in specific ways. ways, so lots and lots of photos, even if it took away from the moment. But the strange part was how when she'd share things, the caption always told a slightly different story than what actually happened. Like just off enough for me and my other friends to say, huh, that has a weird quality to it. Fast forward a couple years and she gets engaged, boom, this was the catalyst for the worst of the influencer mentality to come out. I was in the bridal party and it was a nightmare. No gratitude, just demands. Demands for expensive trips and expensive parties and all kinds of things that were above and beyond the means of her closest friends. And all of the demands were because she had a following and had certain expectations to meet, which is just what happens when you fake your life online. Coming number 3, plan shopping. Plan shopping is when someone says yes to a whole bunch of engagements or events and then they simply choose which one will help boost their clout more. Then everyone else just gets ignored or forgotten. This happens so much, and this Reddit user spoke about their experience saying, she hasn't come to anything I've invited her to in 5 years because she only goes to events that further her business. Regularly she says things like we're all using each other for something. Sometimes she texts me the exact same thing word for word over a couple of days, and it's obvious she just copy pastes the same thing and sends it to all of us and then forgets who she has sent it to. She still reaches out to me multiple times a year and claims I'm one of her best friends, but it sure doesn't feel like it. I told her as much, but she just says this is my life now. My business comes first, and if you can't accept that, then I guess you're not a real friend. I'm thinking it's the other way around. Coming number 2, the influencer trap. When you begin to give up other endeavors and chase a life of being an influencer, you can often find yourself getting trapped. Similar to the server trap, the monetary benefits seem too great to give up, and most likely if they switch careers now, their bank accounts will take a hit. This user on Reddit explains how this happened to her cousin and says, my cousin is a moderately successful Instagram model and she absolutely hates it. She hates her fans, finds them all cringy and pathetic, hates the drama and how PC it all is. In real life, she's very conservative / traditional. Only does it because it's the only way she can make money. She dropped out of school and endorsing products and taking pictures of herself is the only way she knows how to pay rent. In real life, she's basically the complete opposite of the happy, bubbly, ditzy girl she plays online, and we often laugh over some of the messages she receives, including proposals and women angry that their sons / husbands are following her. I'm sure a ton of women get that. Last but certainly not least, our number 1 spot, be passionate. I thought I would end this list on a bit of a happier note because most of these stories are quite destitute. If you want to be an influencer and you don't want to burn out, the biggest secret is that you have to be passionate about what you do. You have to truly love it and not let the opinions of others or money for certain things pull you away from why you started it all. So to leave us off, here's one last positive story about an influencer's life behind the scenes. This Reddit user says, my sister is an influencer and honestly it hasn't changed her. Most people don't change if they're truly passionate for something. Most of the time they're just happier. For my sister it was makeup and now she's really happy. Those who change aren't doing something because it's what they want anymore, it's what the consumer wants. So just remember this, don't let anyone change who you are. And I couldn't agree more. But guys, that has been the top 10 influencer dark secrets exposed. And before we get out of here, I'm gonna check out some of your comments from the video titled Lizzo Gets Upset, Johnny Depp Breaks Silence, and Dr. Dre's Daughter Homeless. Michelle Horton says, I think Johnny Depp is the strongest person. Most people would have given up and retired out of the limelight. Lizzo is beautiful and oh my god, she has a voice. Nobody should body shame. Yeah, nobody should be body shaming Lizzo. I mean, she's a musician. Judge her by her art, not by how she lives her personal life. Lisa K says, praying for Johnny's biggest comeback soon. He's a great actor in person. Justice always prevails. I have some news coming about Johnny Depp and his case in the US, so yeah, he's getting a big win very soon. Angel Eye says, I wish Johnny Depp all the best in the world. He deserves it. He certainly does. He has been put through quite the ringer over the last few years. Arinka says, I will get hate for this, but when you're an adult, your parents should not be financially responsible for you. I mean, it's nice if they help, but yeah, you're kind of right. Lilo the Stitch says, Lizzo deserves so much better. Couldn't agree more. She definitely does. That was awful what she had to go through there. But guys, that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Johnny Rogers, and until next time, stay classy, YouTube, or at least try.